yeah, this is it. I'm so excited that we're finally here and that I get to share this with you all. The poems in Tracts are all about how we experience different kinds of spaces and distances, and that's not just the physical but also in time and language and in our relationships. I'm just going to dive right in. Word roll. When I find the right material, the right patterns, I can throw it over the emotion like a ceremonial veil in which to meet my listener. As a covering may show the shape of an invisible thing, ghost beneath a sheet. We may even come to know what to do with it, which boat, the road, the worded feeling should board, in its trappings fit for sailing away from me. So this next one's called Approaching Orpheus. I wrote my MA dissertation on the myth of Orpheus in women's poetry, and for a long time I was so frustrated with it all. And this is a poem about kind of going through all of these voices, all these different takes on someone who seemed to be getting further away from me the more I was like chasing it through all these poems. So this is Approaching Orpheus. I arrive late. I am here to get under your skin. The bacchantes have all left and let me in. In privacy, I peer down your players' arms like telescopes, your fingers emptied of songs. I will get to the bottom of you. In the river, the bloody river carrying your fated head, the sodden lyre, safe, soundly stringed, I pearl venture, plunge, test currents for grains of truth, choke on stirring silt, float with hallowed pieces of you. I will get to the bottom of you. With you, I reach the ocean as from a great mouth. There are so many voices here. Are we song now? Beneath the noise-cancelling break, we are singing to get close to harmony. It's worth drowning. I will get to the bottom of you. So this next one is quite an important poem to me, and it's a little bit about how actually the space a person's allowed to take up, like space, is a kind of political issue, and I'll let it speak for itself on this point. It's called At Large. I've been apologising for taking up space. Sorry, I say, and squash myself into pretty little crystals twinkling. Sorry, silly. I am big and fleshy and irreducible. I fill 5'3" of any container in which I am placed. I take up seat space and street space, so there'll be no more apologies. I intend to be at large. People will know when I'm in a room, call me invader of air, call me criminal, as I clear my throat of the dried up sorries, stick out my tongue, scratch them away and stamp them into dust. When I run and shout, they'll say that I am lost, but I defy them. I'm right here, laughing and waving and being swashbuckling and adventurous, being untouchable and incorrigible. I'll sign my name at the foot of all my deeds, at large, and not one bit sorry. This is about a purely imaginary space. It's called In the Box with Sylvia, and the Sylvia in question is a fictional character about whom my fiance and I have had many debates and still never settled on. You know, I think she's amazing. He doesn't. So this is called In the Box with Sylvia. She was the first and namesake of this place, we have dedicated to matters we could not settle. She presides over a contrary queendom invented between us so that it could not come between us. In it there are films the one will never convince the other to only give a chance, and situations that one, or the both of us, are misremembering. And there is Sylvia Teagens, our original great disagreement. How she would laugh to know her significance to us. How she would cry to know her chaos is contained. So this is called melisma, which is a word I've completely made up. Melisma is a musical term where when you are singing a word, it's got lots of notes within that word. So a bit like what, I'm trying to think of an example. Like Christina Aguilera. Any Christina Aguilera song has melisma. So this is called melisma. It happened to a melismed word. The word walked over notes and time. The collapse stretched over notes and time. And a broken syllable, as though she fell downstairs and not through air. Somehow, when the music pitched higher, we expected her to rise again, the melody enacting a reversal of time. But everything was wrong at the crescendo. As the notes strained to lift us, we watched her form finally cease where it struck the carpet, solid as a hammer. The conductor kept his back to us. The orchestra continued. The music was careless of what had passed. This is the last one I'm going to do from Tracts. It's like, well, I think like a quarter of the poems that are in. And a couple of the poems in here are set in art galleries because they are spaces where like we respond in a very specific way and we behave in a specific way, and it's almost like a more intense space. So this is one of those art gallery poems. It felt only appropriate to read it here. It's called Looking at Auras. Directed by Mum, we took turns to stand before the white square in the gallery and jump quickly away, while the other stared hard, so that our auras could be seen, staying. The canvas no longer blank, but soaking up our shades, the egress glow, can you see the colour? Of you no longer there, blaring in each other's straining eyes, resonating in her effervescent sight. So just to finish off, I've got a couple of little short ones. I'm craving the spring, so they are about fruit and birds. The first one's called Plum. The name is a rich, dark drop. Pizzicato plucked like a fruit falling through branches into ready hands. In brood colour, bitter skin hides syrup of sunlight, sticky as stories. I mine with teeth down to the nutty pit. And I'll leave you with sparrows. They're familiar as fence posts, so it's easy to forget that when a hedgerow halloos, chock-a-block chattering bang in the middle of humdrum houses and the quiet of afternoons, it is a kind of casting that doles out like laughter a lively contentment, that ruffles butterflies with a flourish of feathers, that draws all the day to note this twitching curtain of wink-giggle leaves where the spuddies hide. The thing is, love and wonder don't always come in lofty flights of crimson and indigo, but settle, soft and sparrow brown, and sing from the nearness of your garden.